What's up, my beautiful people? Welcome back to another episode of See It Through My Eyes. I'm your host, Richie, here with the stand man.
Hi.
The cameraman.
Hi.
Jesus.
Hi.
And today we are going to be reacting to a video. I've been wanting to do this and I finally convinced Jesus to do this reaction video with me.
Help me.
We're going to be discussing the conversation about people's obsessions with conspiracies. If we could put the, what is that, So the video that we are going to be reacting to is it's called A Neuroscientist Explains What Conspiracy Theories Do to Your Brain. And it is by the channel Inverse. So 5 minutes long. We're most likely going to react to the majority of the video. But with that being said, if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe to our channel. Check out the original video and the original channel. Show them some love. Make sure to like and share this video. And with that being said, let's get right into it.
Of course, it's all connected. This conspiracy goes all the way to the top. That's right, I'm talking about the human brain. I'm Shannon, and I'm a neuroscience PhD candidate. And this is your brain on conspiracy theories. Conspiracy theories are having a renaissance right now. It seems like every day we hear about a rapper who believes that the Earth is flat, or an athlete who believes that the moon landing is fake, or that a super advanced race of aliens have infiltrated the Earth and they live among us as they prepare for invasion and the eventual enslavement of the entire human race. So how is the otherwise working brain able to believe in such far-fetched ideas?
I was once a big believer of the alien one, especially when you watch shows like Alien Files and Undiscovered Mysteries. Oh my gosh, those had me just eating all that stuff up.
I believe in some. I think some are just far out there, and some it's just people. It's like when people stare at something and they really are trying to see a certain color or see something that's not there, but they'll force themselves to like, oh, see, right there, it's right there. And it's like, I don't see anything. I think sometimes you try to force your imagination, your mind, your eyes, and because you have a certain bias, it does deceive you. But I do believe that there are some conspiracies that can have some validity, and then there's some that's just, I think some people don't want to accept the boring truth sometimes, so they'll come up with a more interesting and very crazy hypothesis.
The human brain is wired to see patterns to help us survive. Dark clouds mean a storm is coming. A mysterious shadow means a predator is trying to murder you, that sort of thing. Sensing patterns can save your life. Pattern processing became increasingly sophisticated with expansion of the cerebral cortex, particularly the prefrontal cortex and regions involved in image processing. As we evolved, the brain got so good at finding patterns that it sometimes sees a pattern in completely unconnected data. Enter the conspiracy theory. Conspiracy theories generally refer to explaining important events as secret plots by powerful groups. People who believe in conspiracy theories have brains that are more prone to illusory pattern perception, aka finding connections when there are none. In one study, researchers flipped coins and asked subjects to record the results. People who thought they saw patterns in the random coin flips were more likely to believe in at least one major conspiracy theory. So why do conspiracy theorists sometimes see connections that just aren't there? Neuroscientists believe it may be due to extra dopamine in their brains. Dopamine is a neurotransmitter involved in emotion, reward, and cognition. It's thought to be especially important in decision-making, as it helps people find signal in noise. People with genetically higher levels of free dopamine are more likely to believe in one or more conspiracy theories. In fact, in an experiment where a drug to increase dopamine levels was administered to non-believers, they behaved more like believers, seeing patterns in random shapes. But it just doesn't add up. Egyptian alien gods, flat earth, Illuminati, lizard men. How can conspiracy theorists keep on believing these improbable ideas without coming to terms with the literal mountains of evidence? Unless that's it.
I sometimes ask myself the same question when it comes to the people that believe in like the flat earth stuff, considering that there's so much like scientific evidence to oppose all of that. And we've seen like still images of the earth. Hell, there's a lot of still images now. You can go on Google now and look at those. But again, like to me, it's just like, how do you still like believe in all that? But I guess we do have our answer here. When they get excited when something confirms like their belief, no matter how ridiculous it looks.
I think for a person that doesn't have any type of psychological or any type of mental disorders, I could kind of understand why some people have these type of beliefs.
Mm-hmm.
In 2026, those in America and surrounding countries, especially out in the West, we're aware of what's happening right now with a specific set of files that are being redacted and exposed and whatever. And I think, beyond the conspiracies, we have enough proof also that the governments of many of our countries, no matter what country you go to, have lied to us, right? We establish religious establishments have lied. Like any type of establishment we have seen how have lied at some point out of corruption, greed, out of desire for power, whatever it is. And we're seeing, at least right now, for example, the files that are being put out there, that there's some messed up things happening behind the scenes with some powerful people. So I can kind of understand when people have these type of conspiracies that some things don't make sense. Some things don't add up. And why should we believe what the government is telling us when that same government has lied so many times in the past and told us, this is the truth? So I can kind of understand. I know I've talked to you, Jesus, about this, that I wanted to do kind of a reaction video to the Club 27 for a lot of celebrities who died at an early age. I know, like, what's his name?
There's Tupac, there's Jimi Hendrix.
Dude,
Kurt
Cobain. And countless other people. I think Amy Winehouse was on that list too. Celebrities who died at the age of 27 in some messed up ways. And this theory, I want to say, came up in I'm not too sure when exactly.
It started up in like the early 2000s.
Yeah, I think in a lot of cases we let our imaginations run wild.
Yep.
Because there are also individuals who I'm not going to name because I think they're pieces of shit, who are out there who try to push some theories that are horrific, that are harmful, that question certain tragedies that have happened in this country, regardless of the pain that it's caused and is projected upon the families of victims. And this specific individual who has pushed a lot of these, just dude's not right in the head, but that's the less of I
wonder who he could be talking about.
AJ knows who I'm talking about, but it's individuals like that. And that's a problem that I have with a lot of these conspiracies. That, for example, one conspiracy for, me and Jesus have had these conversations on this channel about WWE, professional wrestling. The death of
the Benoit family.
Yeah, of Chris Benoit, the murder-suicide massacre happened in 2007. And this wrestler, for anybody who isn't a professional wrestling fan, or maybe hasn't never heard of this story, there was this professional wrestler who offed his child, his wife, and then eventually himself. But people, specifically his fans, over the years, it's been almost 20 years now. Actually, it's going to be next year, 20 years since the incident. People seem to come up every year with a different conspiracy. Now, there are some stuff in the police report and all that, and the investigation, that does kind of leave more questions than answers.
And up next, we have Chris Benoit crime scene questions. Chris Benoit's death was ruled as a suicide, but there are several strange details surrounding his body that have left room for speculation. One of the biggest inconsistencies is the presence of Xanax and hydrocodone in his system. Toxicology reports show that he had a significant amount of both substances in his body at the time of his death. Xanax and hydrocodone are powerful sedatives, meaning that if Benoit had willingly taken that much, he should have been nearly unconscious, yet he supposedly had the strength and coordination to set up a complex pulley system. He allegedly used a weight machine to do the deed, but some experts have pointed out that this would have required incredible strength and precision, even for a trained athlete. The body of Chris Benoit was also reported in different positions depending on the officer. One officer said that Benoit was found lying on the floor next to the machine, while another officer said that Benoit was slumped against the machine. Benoit was also allegedly found with a towel around his neck, and this has led to many conspiracy theorists to wonder why a person who was seeking to take their own life would care about the potential scars on their neck. Then there's the alcohol mystery. Around Benoit's body, investigators found 10 empty beer cans and a partially full bottle of wine. Despite this, his toxicology reports showed no alcohol in his system at the time of his death. Even stranger, authorities never took DNA evidence from the cans or the bottle. If they had, would they have found only Benoit's DNA or someone else's DNA too? This critical lack of forensic testing has led many to question whether investigators really got the full story. The inconsistencies surrounding Chris Benoit's body leave a disturbing question hanging in the air. Was he truly in control of his actions that night, or was there something or someone else involved?
So I can kind of understand that, but I feel a lot of the time it's fans who can't come to terms with the fact that, this individual was not okay, and he did commit these
horrible acts.
Yeah. And I was a big fan of Chris Benoit. And I can't condone. I pray for his soul, like I pray for his children, his child and his wife's resting. I think it was messed up. And it's never going to be able to be justified. But yet there's people who seem to have these conspiracies of, oh, well, it couldn't be him because, why would he do this? And why? And they try to pick on the smallest little details and try to use that as evidence of, well, this doesn't make sense. So the whole idea of what the police are saying is not credible. When it's just some things, it's just we weren't there, and it's hard for us to accept it, that we weren't there, so we don't know. And a lot of the time, I think these conspiracies are put out there to fill a certain need that we have to know everything. And when we can't explain certain things, I feel like a lot of the time this is when conspiracy starts happening. I feel a lot of people are also narcissists that want to come up with all these theories because they feel that they know better than, even professionals. It's a problem. As somebody who has worked in the field of social work, and to a certain degree, even in criminal justice, I have a problem with armchair psychologists and armchair detectives online who will take a case that they hear about and they'll diagnose people with all these disorders, and it's like, dude, you don't even have a degree and all that. Oh, well, I don't need a degree. I've been studying on my own, all this, and they don't understand that beyond just knowing the knowledge from the books that you got to read and, learn from and everything, and the tests and everything you got to go through in order to be qualified and licensed and everything as a, for example, like a social worker, a psychologist, a therapist, a counselor, whatever. You also have to have that experience that you cannot get from books. You cannot get from what you see online, what you hear online. I don't care how many cases you have heard, it's different than you actually being hands-on. And the same thing with the criminal justice stuff. When people try to investigate all these things, and they, oh, well, this doesn't make sense. Well, this doesn't make sense. Or they'll try to use a previous case kind of as proof that, you know, well, like in this case, this happened. And they use that as their experience of, you know, some things just don't add up, so there has to be a different explanation, when sometimes it's just not. And a lot of time we just can't cope with that. So, by the way, we're done with the video, so yeah, make sure to go check out the rest of the video. We're wrapping up now. But sometimes we can't accept that the truth that's before us is the truth, and that's just all it is. And sometimes fiction is more fun than reality.
I'd like to say that, because I've seen some of the theories about that whole situation. Two innocent people, right, lost their lives that night, right, due to someone else's actions. I think that it's been a while, and I think it's time to just let those souls rest, honestly. Because at this point, whatever happened, right? Unfortunately. And it's not like uncovering anything new would change the fact that two innocent people lost their lives.
And you touching on it, like, for a lot of people who are using these, whether it's the files that's happening right now, the Chris Benoit incident that, you know, we referred to, or those who, again, armchair psychologists and armchair detectives, let's remind ourselves that at the end of the day, these are real people, and these are their lives that were affected by these tragedies. And to a certain extent, it's entertainment for us because we didn't have to live through it. But at some point, we have to find that sense of humanity in us. If we truly claim, for a lot of those who claim to, you know, want to fight for justice and for the truth, who's that justice and the truth for? For yourself? For the audience? Is it not for the victims, the families of the victims? You know, I also follow a lot of true crime, and I have an issue when a lot of content creators will say, oh, you know, sorry, I can't show certain pictures of a crime scene or videos of the crime scene. And you would think, oh, well, you know, out of morality or, you know, integrity. No, because YouTube will, you know, take my video down. It's like, oh, okay. So you're okay with showing a horrific crime scene that is exposing someone's livelihood, someone's, you know, life, a tragedy that happened to a person, because it's entertainment for you. And that's a big problem that I have, like I said, with the true crime community online. Those who are running around on all these platforms or in real life diagnosing people when they have no experience, or the only experience that they have, either it's by what they observe other people, or maybe they themselves have struggled or experienced any type of like mental health issues, and they feel that they're experts. Or again, the investigators, the armchair investigators, that they think, I've watched, you know, true crime, I've watched Law and Order, I've watched all these shows, so I have all these, you know, they become what's his face from Taken. You have all this knowledge and these skills to be able to solve these crimes better than those who have spent decades in that field. And my thing, again, you know, if you want to believe, or if you want to entertain yourself with these, you know, on your own time behind the scenes where you're not hurting anybody, go ahead. But when we start, like what I was saying earlier about a specific piece of shit,
glorifying it
and attacking the families of victims because, oh, well, this doesn't make any sense, you know, and all this other bullshit, you gotta, if you're so-called exposing the evil, the corrupt, you know, elite for what they're doing, And yet you have no problem, you know, using the tragedies and the sufferings of innocent people and victims and families of victims for your own entertainment. You're no any better. You really are not. You're just a standbyer. You're taking this as entertainment, and that's pretty up. Right? We all, right? It's that that saying that, you know, you see a crash, an accident, you know, and a lot of people can't help but, you know, stop or turn around or, hey, what's going on over there? So it's a morbid curiosity that we humans do have, right? But to what extent are we going to let that curiosity go? And guys, to wrap up, sometimes we don't know what's going on out there. And yeah, these conspiracy theories are fun and everything, but some of these conspiracy theories are fucking with your mind. Go outside, make some new friends, touch some grass. I don't know.
Some grass, guys. Touch some grass.
Kiss a fish.
The legal grass.
Drive your tractor.
Drive my truck.
Drink some beer. Anyways, but seriously, guys, you know, let's have fun when it's fun, but not at the expense of people who, you know, have been victimized or families of those who are the victims, guys. Let's be respectful. So, like I said, go check out the rest of this video. Real good video. We only did probably like 2 minutes. But that's really the take that both me and Jesus had. Hopefully you guys enjoy that. Make sure to add in the comment section anything you guys want to add. Any conspiracy theories you guys find both either ridiculous or maybe you feel that, you know, hey, maybe it's true. But add that in the comment section. Let's keep it respectful. And make sure to like and share if you haven't already. Make sure to subscribe. I'm Richie here with Jesus. We'll see you guys next time. See you through my eyes. Take care. Stay safe. Go touch grass.
I hear there's a religious
Legal grass.
channel.
And be careful with lizard people.